A short time in God's Word. Today, November 24th, Matthew 17 through 19. Some good stuff here in Matthew 18. Love how this chapter begins. It says, the disciples came to Jesus at that time saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And he called them a child. Right, they're looking for him to point at one of them, and he calls a child to him and puts him in the midst and said, truly I tell you, unless you turn and become like children, you'll never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And then the opposite, if you mess up one of these and lead them astray, not good. And so this idea of humility, imagine the disciples, they're all excited because he's going to tell us. We're going to finally know who's the MVP. It brings this no-named child into the midst of them. Why? Not because he's a child that doesn't know anything, but he just inherently trusts and loves, and he's dependent. That's the key to the kingdom. Just to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, to depend on him completely, and to trust him fully. There's no room for pride. There's no room for I've got this. They know they need someone to help. We need to have that kind of heart and that kind of atmosphere. In this chapter, there's also references to how we deal with problems in the church with brothers and sisters. And it's more to do with sinful things, right? If someone sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone, right? Like if someone does something sinful against you, go talk to him about it. Don't just ignore it. And then if he listens, you've gained a brother, right? You're back and you're restored. It's good. But if he doesn't listen, take one or two others that the charge may establish by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. Like, hey, we need to deal with this. And then if that doesn't work, then you take it to the church. And if he doesn't listen to the church, let him be to you as a Gentile and a tax collector. In other words, they're like an unbeliever at that point. That's pretty serious stuff, right? Mostly we fail because we don't do step 1. We don't go to a person that offends us and sins against us. And then we think it should apply to non-sin things just because we don't like someone. Well, no, this is about sin, and how we view a brother means we give opportunity for grace, opportunities for mercy, opportunities for love to be enacted and for forgiveness to be extended. And we do that with a broken heart, right? We approached with gentleness, as Paul says in Galatians, because we know, man, it could be me in this situation. And if you get back to relationship, then it's a wonderful thing. And then if you have to take further steps, then you bring some others along. But it's not a gang up on, right? It can never be like that. It has to be done with full love, full tenderness. Thankful for the grace we've been given. Let's extend that grace to one another. Until next time, keep growing little by little.